So, Danny, final game of the season tomorrow, and the last one of this 6-year stay in the National League. What do you want to see from the team tomorrow?
Just to send off everyone on their summer holidays with a spring in their step. You know, I think it's very hard not to analyse when you lose a game, but when you lose a few on the trot, even if the mission's been accomplished, i.e. winning the league, it's going to bring an element of criticism and flatness, which is absolutely fine. But you know, we should all be enjoying this moment going into the last game, knowing the job's done. It's going to be over 10,000, I've heard, in the crowd. Could be a record-breaking crowd, and so yeah, we want to give those supporters something to sing about, like we have for 90% of this season. The last 4 games we haven't been happy with, but the job is done. And at the start of the season, we all would have taken that going into the last game.
How sort of seriously have you sort of had a look into those 4 defeats, or have you just sort of accepted that it is pretty natural maybe for the players to just step off it a little bit?
No. I mean, the gaffer's big on analysis, win, lose or draw. When we've on our crazy runs this year of win after win after win, we've done the same. There's been critical meetings on a Monday where people would least expect it. So it's all about improving and learning and trying to make us better for the next game, for the next month, for the next season now. So yeah, obviously it got a little bit more critique, doesn't it, go into it when you've lost and not played particularly great. Let's get it right. But like I say, we have to take a step back and go, it's a marathon, not a sprint this season. And if we'd lost our first 4 games and then gone on a crazy run to win the league, then it'd be a different sort of vibe, wouldn't it? But I think it's great the last game of the season's at home. I really do. Where, you know, 2 out of the last 4 have been away. Well, sorry, 3 out of the last 4 have been away. So it's great that we finish on a home game with a packed crowd. And like I say, we haven't played particularly great over the last 4 games. Gateshead was better than it has been, but we want to go out of a real exciting performance and play as champions, which we are.
Putting you on the spot a little bit here, but are some players playing for their futures, you know, next season? There's going to be a lot of competition, isn't there, next year?
I think when you're a club like Chesterfield, every game's massive for a player. You know, there's obviously with the manager and experience, he's loyal, he's good with his players, but you know, he'll be ruthless if you want to win games. And the players know that, not now, we've known it for the whole season, for the last season or 2, and you've seen a lot of teams chop and change this year. No one's ever safe with their shirt, and that will continue to be the case. Not to do with the recent lack of positive form, but just because it's a big club and every game is a cup final for us and for other teams. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily different now than it was maybe at the start of the season. It's exactly the same. There's a pressure on anyone involved with a club like Chesterfield, but you know, they've dealt with the pressure more times than not this year. You know, that's the trophy getting dished out with 5 games to spare.
Has winning the league so early allowed you to plan for next season earlier than what you would do?
A little bit, yeah. We've had loads of meetings even before the title was confirmed. Not being presumptuous, but just so we're getting in advance if we were to go up or if we were to get in the playoffs or etc. etc. So those meetings have been ongoing. Obviously, it's nice initially to have a well-earned break for everyone connected with the club after I think the celebration Sunday and Monday next week, and then it's back to business. We'll be in the offices talking about potential signings and lads are out of contract and pre-season friendlies. It starts all over again. So I really can't stress the point enough that everyone, especially supporters, should be really milking this moment, regardless of the last few results. Because before you know it, we'll have that first pre-season game probably at Matlock, and no one will remember this. No one will remember it, ourselves included. It's all about the first game in League Two. What's our aspirations? What are the potential signings we've made? And it will just come round before you know it. So I really urge everyone to enjoy the next few weeks, but especially the game tomorrow.
A little bit of news in the week that Tom Naylor picked up a couple of awards at the Player of the Year awards. Just how much have you enjoyed working with him this season?
Yeah, he's an extraordinary guy, very quiet, very humble, very confident in what he does. Brings an air of confidence to the group, as do a lot of the players. But sometimes you can sign players with bigger, better degrees on paper on their CV, and you feel a little bit let down. But with Tom and the other lads that we've signed from high levels, hasn't been the case. Really humble lads. I think Tom has contributed more goals than probably even he expected. And he's a really, I think you saw from his speech at the Player of the Year, he's quite quiet, very unassuming. And he's the first one to say after recent games, "Come on, lads, that's not good enough." So he'll be vocal when he needs to be, but he's a very infectious character, especially on the training ground.
Those three that came in, Tom Naylor, Will Grigg, Michael Jacobs, is such a high calibre of player for the National League. Are those the sort of signings that you might look at?
Not sure at the moment. Not sure, and I think that Will, Michael, and Tom have been cracking for us, and they're really, really good lads. But there's a lot of other lads who are here already who deserve a lot of credit, and other lads that were signed from similar levels or levels below, or 21s football. We've had a few loans. Everyone's played their part. So yes, Will, Michael and Tom deserve big pats on the back for the experience and calmness and quality they've brought to the football club. But let's not forget all those other players that were here already and were signed in previous times that have worked their socks off to get this club where it deserves to be.
I suppose the flip side of that is there must be some difficult conversations that you have to have at the end of a season or in the summer regarding with players who unfortunately you have to let go.
And I think that's the brutal side of football, isn't it, Liam? That those conversations will happen. Obviously, we haven't had those discussions yet with players in general or amongst ourselves, really, about what's happening specifically with individual people. I think we're so we're so focused on finishing this season on a high, especially after the recent fixture. Listen, if we won the last four, we'd have the same approach tomorrow because it's the last home game and you don't want it to peter out. So, yeah, we've had a gentle kick up the backside more times than not in a few weeks. But like I keep reiterating, tomorrow should be a celebration. Sunday at the Town Hall should be a celebration because I've banged on to you many a time this year. There's a lot of dark times before my time here that I've heard about. So these moments should be cherished.
Yeah, how much are you looking forward to celebrating tomorrow and on Sunday at the Town Hall Open Top Bus Parade?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Very, very, I think that all the staff that have experienced it and the careers, I've had one of them at Brighton years ago, and you don't appreciate it at the time. You see all the folk come out from the town, and it means so much to them. So yeah, it's a way of us, I suppose, saying thank you and giving them and also something that they haven't had for a long time. I remember the council getting in contact with me last year before Notts County game, saying, we just want to plan ahead if you were to win it. And so there was a plan put in place because it had to be, obviously, for policing, etc. And then you don't get near the Town Hall because you've lost on penalties, and what a way to lose. So let's remember those dark times in many years gone by, and literally this time last year. And when we are on that bus Sunday, let's have a good time.
Absolutely. Just one final one. You can still keep your cards close to your chest if you want, but is there anyone available tomorrow who has not been available recently?
I don't play cards, Liam, so I've got no cards close to my chest. Yeah, they are. I've got to say they are. We're all good to go. James Berry's back in running. Whether it's worth the risk before the break on that hamstring, we'll wait and see. But apart from that, as it stands, Liam, we've got a good squad to choose from, and like we have all season. So credit to the medical department, credit to the training methods, credit to the players, and credit for the whole football club, because I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here, and especially this season. I know all the staff have. We've all waited for this moment where the season comes to a close and we're champions. And like I say, Wembley last year. Let's remember that feeling and enjoy the next 48 hours.
Cheers, Danny. Just want to also say thanks for your time throughout the whole season. I know you've gone out of your way, haven't you, to help us. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, Liam. Thank you, mate. Top man.